Welcome to the Dreams of Consciousness podcast. If the two of you would be so kind, would you mind introducing yourselves?
I'm Mike. I play in Wode, vocals and guitar.
I'm Tim. I'm the drummer.
Mike and Tim, welcome back. The two of you were on in 2021 to speak about the previous Wode album, Burn in Many Mirrors. Can you catch everyone up on what's been happening with Wode since 2021?
Um, yeah, I guess we released the album in April. Um, and then we probably played like three or four shows that year due to the pandemic. And then yeah, we did a couple of tours the 2 years after that, maybe two or three tours. And just started writing this album probably, I don't know, 2023. Took a couple of years to write and probably 6, 7 months to record after that.
The last time you guys were on,
Yeah, that's about right.
the last time you guys were on, we had a, a long chat about the history of the band as well as the way you guys write songs. If I remember correctly, the songs start with the two of you, uh, Mike and Tim, before you guys bring them to the rehearsal space and flesh them out and work on the arrangements as a band. Is that more or less correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes they come in more fully formed than others. But yeah, we'll generally like bring in ideas on guitar because I play guitar as well, and then we will. Um, I'll show it to Mike and Dan or one of them or both, or we'll jam on it straight away, or we might jam on guitars for a bit, and flesh ideas out that way, and then we'll work it up like as a band, and it'll change, and that'll become the finished song over like a couple of rehearsals, maybe more. Maybe we'll like get so far in a song and then work on something else, come back to it if it's if it's a problematic one, and then we'll come back to it with a fresh perspective and finish it off that way. Finish off later.
Yeah, I think we also probably on this one, you Tim like brought in like a sort of garage band demo of one of the tracks early on with like drums and bass on it, which we hadn't really done before that much, which was kind of a good way to like hear how you envisioned the song. That one was Transmutation, which had kind of pretty much stayed the same, I think. And I tried to do that as well a little bit with a couple of songs, like to get an idea across of like just more than guitar. But I think they kind of developed a lot more between us. But it was just like a bit of a new approach, I think, that kind of helped things move along.
Is this new for you guys to use DAWs to help with your songwriting and your arrangements?
Very new to me. I'm total amateur when it comes to anything like that. And it's really just a sketch. It wasn't like, you know, we'd always kind of work on things and record them with the band. It's not like, yeah, we kind of need it to be organic, but it's just a sort of slightly different way of working for a couple of the songs, just to help, I guess, convey an idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always like messing about with GarageBand. I mean, that song was like it wasn't initially, didn't really have Wode in mind for that, and then I just thought actually that would probably sound great with like Mike singing on it, and then we tried it, and it worked. So yeah,
Was it like guitars with like simple MIDI drums or something like that?
yeah, I just programmed the drums using the sort of whatever what's it called, retro rock or something they've got on their
Right.
garage band, and just used that. Sounds quite good. Or like playing out of your phone. you couldn't really release that though, so we ultimately had to do it as a band.
Yeah. How was it for you guys starting songs on software? Do you feel like it makes your songwriting go faster?
I mean, you get like a fully formed idea of like how two guitars could work together using GarageBand, I think, and then sometimes like a hook can be developed that way. Like, so if you've got a certain thing, if you've got a riff and you hear a certain guitar melody, then you're going to want to try it. So you can try it like using GarageBand, and it's satisfying to hear back. And and it's a good way just to show the others how you envision it, and how and that it does actually work, straight off the bat. And if you can show something, bring something in that sounds good already, people are like up for trying it. So yeah, it's good in that way. I just think it's just personally kind of a satisfying way to develop ideas. You're recording stuff in here, and it's coming together straight away, which before GarageBand you could use 4 tracks and stuff like that. That's the same thing, but it just wasn't as instant as GarageBand, and you don't have to mic stuff up with GarageBand and all that. So it's a really good tool. Not that this is like an advert for GarageBand. Right. It started to sound like that.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because I kind of like sometimes when we did both. We'd bring just a riff in on guitar as well, and like sometimes you'll have it how that will sound in your head with the drums and the bass, and then the other band members will do something else, and it'll sound better in a lot of cases. So it's a balance between, I guess, we did a few where it was fully formed demos, and then a few where it was just the bare bones, and then both ways worked well, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And like, that's the thing with doing stuff on GarageBand. If you do it too much, then you just like you miss that element of surprise where like someone else will envisage something in a completely different way, and then bring something different to it that like knocks you sideways, and then that'll inspire something else. So like that's why being in a band is good.
Yeah,
because other people have different ideas that make it surprising.
Yeah, I mean the surprise element is one of the fun parts of being in a band. It's been more than 20 years since I played music with other people, and I was constantly running into frustrations with people who, may not have understood some of the references, like when you say, oh, this is an Entomb type riff, or this is a Winter type riff, or whatever. And like you and Mike were saying, they come up with something completely different, which sometimes is good, and sometimes it's like, their frame of reference might be like something completely different. And then what I found was that, since working with programmed drums and DAWs, it takes a lot of the guesswork out, especially for the drummers. Not that my drum programming is particularly sophisticated, but it does tend to simplify things. Like, I want this kind of blast beat, or I want this kind of thrash beat, or I want like a doom part over here. You know what I mean? And so
yeah,
the drummer can embellish on his own and work out his own like ride fills or toms and stuff like that. But the basic framework is there for him as far as it goes.
Yeah, let him do his own toms.
Right, exactly. I'm
do that bit.
I'm curious what led you to start using GarageBand so recently. Was it like life changes and you don't have as much time to go to the studio?
No, I mean I've always used it.
Okay.
But it's just that I think we used it on the last record as well.
Did we?
It's just like yeah, I did.
Okay, I forgot that. Okay. That is the first time I used it, because I thought it was when you brought that in, I thought that's a good way to get ideas across. So I kind of learned how to do it, sort of learned how to do it. But yeah, I wouldn't ever show anybody those demos because Yeah, I think I didn't program the drums. I just played them like that
Right.
on the keyboard. Yeah.
So at the beginning of October, Wode released a new album called Uncrossing the Keys, which came out through 20 Buck Spin. So during our last conversation in 2021, you described Burn in Many Mirrors as almost a clean slate. Like you guys were starting with a clean slate for that album. Uh, in comparison, is Uncrossing the Keys another clean slate? Do you guys feel like you're starting from another beginning point, or do you feel like you're building off of what you guys did with your previous album?
I think it's I think it's continues some of the ideas. We don't like to look back too much. I think when we're getting into writing, it feels like a clean slate in terms of like any ideas are welcome. We're not trying to like repeat the last thing at all. But like I think some of the kind of stuff we were doing on that one has carried over naturally. Probably some like the heavy metal elements have naturally done that, and like just I guess having like a broader range of like styles that you can incorporate.
I don't know how you would like not approach an album with a clean slate and just sort of churn out more of the same, because I don't know, I would find that boring. I know people do it and do it successfully, but for me it'd just be I just get bored of that, I think. And yeah, so I mean, I think every song is a bit of a clean slate, is something new, and try not to do anything, just write the same song over and over again.
Do you feel like these last two albums have more in common with each other than with the first two albums?
Uh, I think the outlier is probably the first album, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's like more traditionally kind of black metal, I guess, and everything since is the second one was like bringing in more. Sounds more like death metal-y in
Right.
parts, I think. And then these two, I guess, yeah, have like that heavy metal sort of speed metal-y type sound in common. So, yeah, so I would say it. But then this last one changes it again because songs are like more compact and stuff. Um, People have said it's like got post punk in there and stuff, which they hear. So it's yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you don't necessarily agree with that characterization.
I quite and we do like obviously we like that type of music.
I
I
don't
don't.
like it anymore.
Oh, you don't like it anymore? Why not?
No, it's I do actually. It's good music.
Yeah, I think it's just like I don't know. Sometimes an album's kind of sold on like they've gone goth or they've gone post punk or something, and I find it a bit like annoying. Like it maybe has a bit of that in there, but it's not really the full thing we were
Yeah,
going for.
I mean they've got to write about something, so
Yeah,
that'll do as an angle.
we haven't gone goth. That's what some of them have said. It's not. That's not the case.
No,
Do you think maybe it's the tempos? Like tempo wise, this feels different than what you guys did in the past. You think people are reacting to the tempos and that's why they're calling it like goth rock and post punk and stuff like that?
yeah,
I guess some of the songs just have like a bit more of a straightforward like rock or heavy metal like structure.
it's a goth structure, isn't it?
Why is that? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But if people like want to call it that, that's fine.
It's slow, isn't it? There's very few blast beats on it.
Yeah,
It's all
I think
just
there's bits
coasting mid-tempo.
yeah when there are blast beats, they kind of stand out. I think if it's just
Mm.
when album's just a relentless blast beat, the entire way through. It's kind of like that's
It's really good. I like that, but we just haven't done that. I like
Well,
other styles of music to the kind that we create.
yeah, I do as well. But yeah, I just think we wouldn't. We kind of did that a little bit with the first album. I think it was either blast beat or like double bass
Yeah,
riff, which you could also play a blast beat over.
you could.
Uh, and I think like different tempos is long story short is probably what's more interesting for us.
Yeah,
Was
it's
it
really interesting.
was it a conscious attempt to move away from the blast beats, or uh, did it
I think
just
we just got bored of that because
okay?
we've done loads of that, and then sometimes if you're at a gig and you're watching it and it's just like all blast beats all the time, you just like I don't know, it loses impact. It's so we've just like thought let's mix it up because also we're thinking about if we're playing on a bill with loads of other black metal bands and they're playing blast beats and then we come on and just like are playing mid tempo, then we'll really stand out. And I think
Everyone will
that
leave.
was. But you go like you get. We don't actually think about it like this, but like if you go to a metal festival and it's just like blast beat band after blast beat band, you get a bit tired of it, don't you?
Yeah, it is
I
exhausting.
mean, yeah. I don't know about you, Adrian. Do you get tired of that, or do you like that?
Uh, I mean, I'm 46. I'm heading over to 50, and in all
Mm.
honesty, just standing at a metal show is too much for me. No matter what the no matter what the band is playing. I think my favorite way to enjoy metal is sitting down now. Um,
Yeah,
but like in terms of the blast, I think it depends. I mean, I'm still somebody who, when I hear like a good blast and some like fancy ride work, I kind of perk up. But it does get monotonous,
we
especially when
just
you
like
go.
dynamics. I think
Yeah,
that's all it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think the dynamics is always important, even with like the fastest, most aggressive bands. Whether it's
mm.
like Suffocation or Cryptopsy or whatever, they're always changing things up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tim, I'm curious. You said that you weren't sure that Transmutation was going to be a Wode song. If not
yeah.
Wode, then what would you use that song for?
I just thought I'll let's. I've got like I just had a riff and I was like, oh, I wonder where that could go, and then just um finished it off. It wasn't really didn't have anything in mind for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I mean, I will say that that song was one of the early singles, right? One of the pre-release
yeah.
singles, and it did seem like a little bit different than what you guys had done in the past. I'm curious if you felt like uh, the feeling right off the bat was very different for the band, if maybe it was too big a departure.
Yeah, I sort of regret that choice now. Even though it's like quite anthemic, I would probably have, having like listened to the album, like after with a bit of perspective, probably would have chosen something different now. Um, Maybe like one of the side two songs.
You mean as a single, you would have gone with something else?
Yeah, yeah, probably would have. Probably, yeah,
Okay.
I think we were debating. I think it's a great song. We were debating whether it should be like the first single. I think it could have worked as another one of the singles. But
I like the song. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I don't regret it now. I think I was unsure at the time, but I'm kind of glad we come out of the gates with something different because I think a lot of the time people know what to expect, and like I don't think a lot of people would have expected that one.
yeah. I think they just would have maybe liked it more if we'd done something a bit, that they did expect a bit more. But
Right.
Maybe.
maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to know what the people like. I mean, I like the song, but yeah,
Yeah.
just having when we were choosing those singles, it was just after we'd been listening to the album loads, like mixing it and stuff. So your choices are like you become warped in
Right.
your perspective on the album, and then that can influence your choices in strange ways. But yeah, having listened to it now, I would have definitely chosen something else.
I'm also not sure it matters that much because I remember when we
Yeah.
first started putting things out, albums, they didn't even really call them singles. It was like a preview track, is how they described
Mm-hmm.
it. And it's like the album is the thing that most people are going to hear.
Yeah.
Some people will check out the single, but like most people who are interested in this kind of thing are going to listen to the album in full. I think I hope anyway. That's how I do it. I don't really like care so much about a preview track or a single out from a band I'm interested in. I might just wait until the album comes out and check it out in full and see what it's all about.
So I actually don't know much about this side of the business. Do you guys have full control about what gets released before the album? Or is it like is the record label very involved in that discussion?
Um, no, we kind of decided it. Dave from 20 Books been asked which ones we wanted to put. And we asked his opinion, and he was like, "Yeah, go for it." Pretty free with it, really.
Cool. Where did you guys end up recording this album?
We
Where did
did
you
it.
go this time
It
around?
was a place called the Station House in Leeds, um, with a guy called James Atkinson, who I had recorded with before with Heavy Sentence, which was my other band, and I just thought he had a really good live room, really good sound, like a kind of a nice sort of lively sound and an organic sound that I wanted to hear Wode like use. And we did two albums with Joe, who did Burning Many Mirrors and the one before that. So yeah, we just wanted to change anyway. Like Joe did a great job on those. Yeah, just wanted to see what the sort of because of the heavy metal kind of sound that was a lot of the songs have. Thought that would sound good with Atco at the helm. And yeah, I think it suits it.
Mike, do you want to say anything about James?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. For the most part, I think the sound at the end of it did take us quite a while to get everything as we wanted. I think we were kind of agonized over a lot of it. So it meant going back and forth, which wasn't ideal. But the sound is great. Like it's kind of really heavy, but it feels like there's a lot of life to it. It feels, yeah, like quite organic, like Tim says. The bass is there. It's like really present, I think, which I wanted to hear, like a black metal type album, which sounded like that, you know. Yeah, I think that sounds great.
James has worked with Angel Witch. Were you looking for like I don't want to say retro, but almost like a classic sound for the guitars?
Yeah. I mean, we just sort of we didn't want it. We didn't want like a lot of like modern records can sound very clean and clinical with the guitar sounds and stuff, and we just knew that he was good at recording, organic sounding guitars. Has a big live room to play with. Has done a lot of tracking. He tracked I think he tracked the last Carcass album, which obviously isn't that organic sounding, but he he's got a huge collection of amps and like great gear, great mics that we knew we could use. And I had recorded with him before, and I knew what to expect with that. So yeah, that was part of it.
Yeah, I think the guitar sound is like it's not like incredibly aggressive. I think it's like a nice middle point between kind of classic stuff and this bit more extreme. so you can hear things really well. I'm not too bothered about like it doesn't have to be like gain on full or whatever. It's the songs wouldn't necessarily benefit from that. I don't think.
Do you think maybe it's a guitar tone, or that's part of the reason why people are making comparisons to like old post punk and stuff like that?
Yeah, maybe. There's not like loads of. I guess some of those bands use like a lot of delay and things like that. It's not really a lot of that effects laden stuff, but maybe that's one of the reasons.
I think it's this. I think it's like the note choices as well. You've got like quite some of those quite spiky sounding. I think it's that as well that people are picking up on.
Do you want to say anything about Magnus Lindberg, who mastered the album?
Yeah, we did the last one with him as well. He's really good. He's very professional. He like takes a lot of time over it. To be honest, the master, it came back and we didn't like I think we were so happy with the mix that sometimes not a lot needs to be done to it. We just wanted it to be a little bit more aggressive than what it was, but like there's not, we couldn't hear loads different. We just knew that we liked it. Mastering is kind of a bit of a dark art, isn't it? Sometimes, like, I think you can tell when the recording really needs a good master, but if the recording is good itself, I think you just kind of let that shine, and he did that.
If you pull a gun to my head and said, "Show me," and played me the unmastered version, the mastered version, I'm not confident I would be able to choose.
Sometimes it's not
like with any record we've ever done, not with just this one. I don't really know what it does. But
the technical thing isn't just like get it ready for a record, a vinyl, or whatever. Sometimes it's just that it doesn't add loads to the sound. It just makes it like feel finished in a way.
I just spoke to somebody who does a lot of engineering and mixing and mastering, and he spent almost 10 minutes explaining to me what a master is, and I still don't really get it. But
yeah,
did he charge you for that? Or
no. That was pro bono. The lesson was pro bono.
Yeah.
So at the time we're having this conversation, the album has been out for a few weeks, and you guys are playing one-off shows around the UK. I'm not sure exactly when people are going to hear this episode, but it might be after these dates are done. But do you guys have anything planned for the end of the year or maybe 2026 that people can keep an eye out for?
Yeah. So yeah, like I say, we're playing around the UK at the moment. We're playing Leeds next Friday. We're playing a festival in Limerick in Ireland Saturday after that. I think we're playing another festival in Nottingham in November, and then a festival in Berlin at the start of December. And then we finally are going to do the Manchester album release gig in February. We had to move it back, but yeah, that's going to be like the record release album show, even though it's going to be 6 months later. But yeah, and then I think we've got a few things to be announced for 2026. A few festivals, hopefully a few more.
So Uncrossing the Keys is out now through 20 Bucks Spin. Mike and Tim, please tell everyone how they can order the new album. What is the best way to get it?
Well, if you're in the US, probably the best way is from 20 Bucks Spin's website, which is 20buckspin.com. If you're in the UK, you could order it from our Bandcamp, wode.bandcamp.com, or it's available at a lot of places, a lot of like distros in Europe and elsewhere as well. Just search on Google, you'll find it.
Does all your merch go through the Bandcamp page?
The stuff we do, yeah, we've got t-shirts and stuff there through our Bandcamp. 20 Bucks Spin also have merch available. I think they've got like the album cover art if anyone wants that on their website.
So I believe 20 Buck Spin created 4 different versions for the vinyl. I'm not sure exactly how many are still available. They might all be sold out, but do you want to say anything about the vinyl versions?
There's a really nice red one that's kind of like marbly. That seems to be the most popular one. And then there's a black and white, and there's like a sort of
Well, it's a mixture of the two, isn't it? There's grey.
there's a grey one, yeah. But it's kind of a little bit marbly as well. It
Is
looks
it? Yeah.
nicer than just plain grey. But yeah, I don't know I don't know. I think they're all available. We've sold out of the red one, but I think the rest are available from 20 Bucks Spin. I'm not sure. I think so.
And if people want to get updates on live shows, keep up to date with the band, what's the best way to follow you guys online?
Facebook, we have Wode. It's Wode Cult Facebook, I think, and then Instagram is Wode.cult for some reason. Yeah, those two. Bandcamp, we have all the shows listed as well, and we sometimes put messages on that if anyone's interested.
It was good catching up with you guys. Is there anything else you want to say? Anything else you want listeners to know? Tim?
No.
Okay.
No, other than thank you for
Oh yeah, absolutely.
checking out the podcast and the album. Hopefully, hope people like it.
Excellent. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Adrian.